Hey, what's good, dog? Happy Black History Month. It is February, you know what I'm saying? It's also gonna be Valentine's Day real soon, but who the frick cares? It's Black History Month. You see, I've been learning a lot about slavery and black people in my US history class, and I've especially been learning about black people in my English class. Because why not? Why shouldn't my English teacher be able to teach us about black history? Like, come on, bruh. You know who else feels obligated to teach us about black history on Black History Month? Disney. Now, Disney, let me ask you a question. How do you go from this to this? How do you go from hating black people and Jews to now hating white people? Now, I'm not saying that this is Disney as a whole, but the fact that Disney gave the okay on this reboot of Proud Family, that's crazy to me. Now, Proud Family is a show from the early 2000s that not a single one of you watching this video has ever heard. It's a show about black people, and you know what I think about black people. You want to know what I think about black people? I love black people. I love your music, and I love your food, and I love your accent. Up until you walk past my mom's dusty old car and you draw a pee-pee on it, and then my mom sticks her head out the window and yells at you to get away from her car, and then the next day I come home from school and I find smoke bombs in the pool and a big old rock. Very suspicious. So what's the difference between the original Proud Family in the early 2000s and the reboot of the Proud Family nowadays? Disney is stepping up from their LGBTQIAP+ Pro Max agenda on children to black supremacy on children. Talking about white people deserve to give reparations for all the black people that were slaves. Newsflash for you motherheckers, there's one small flaw with that theory. Not a single one of us was alive during slavery. Why should we feel bad for things that white people did way back when? We don't owe you people dookie, because I'm not the one that enslaved you people. I'm not the one that whipped you people. I don't even deserve to be called a cracker, because I never touched a whip in my whole life. I don't even think those things exist anymore. Anyway, so how is Disney portraying black supremacy in this Proud Family reboot? Now, out of all the episodes, there was this one that aired recently, and people have been talking about it for the past week and how woke it is. Let's just play the whole clip in full, because why not?
This country was built on slavery, which means slaves built this country.
Tilled this land from sea to sea to sea. First there was rice, tobacco, sugar cane.
Then Whitney did his thing and cotton became king.
And we were its soldiers,
4 million strong,
fighting for America's freedoms, even though we remained America's slaves.
Built this country. The descendants of slaves continue to build it.
Slaves built this country. And we, the descendants of slaves in America, have earned reparations for their suffering.
And continue to earn reparations every moment we spend submerged in the systemic prejudice, racism, and
white supremacy
that America was founded with and still has not atoned for.
For the past couple years now, what you have proven us, no matter how much we give to you for quote-unquote reparations, when we give you these reparations that you oh so desire, when will it get to the point where we can stop now? We've made documentaries, we've donated to black colleges, we give free money to lazy people. What more could you possibly want?
Slaves built this country.
Not only field hands, but carpenters, masons,
blacksmiths, musicians,
inventors built cities from Jamestown to New Orleans to Banneker,
Washington. 40 acres and a mule.
We'll take the 40 acres, keep the mule. We made your families rich.
Now, my mom never wants me to talk about this with people, but I do not give a frick. Me and my family are descended from people that owned slaves like way back when. I don't even know the context, I don't know their story, but that's kind of all I know. And the irony in this, my mom grew up very poor, and so did my dad, and we didn't get money until they had to work for it. Anyway, so I'm just trying to fact check them. I am not rich right now even, and we never were rich even after owning slaves.
From the southern plantation heirs
to the northern bankers
to the New England ship owners,
the founding fathers,
former presidents,
current senators,
the Illuminati, the New World Order.
Slaves built this country.
We had Tubman,
Turner,
Frederick D.
Didn't they say Lincoln freed the slaves?
But slaves were men.
And women.
Now, I think that's the one, valid thing that they mention. Abraham didn't free the slaves because he loved black people. He was a closeted racist. I think we all know that. The only reason why he freed the slaves was for political power and to win in the Civil War. And then even after the Emancipation Proclamation, slavery was still legal only if black people committed crimes or something. And then in the South, they created these black codes to where if black people did the littlest things, they could be imprisoned or put into slavery once more. Like, all they have to do is talk to a white lady on the street, maybe even steal something, or if they were standing somewhere they ain't meant to be. That poopy was crazy. And like I said before, I was not alive in this time period, my parents were not alive in this period, my grandparents weren't alive in this period, so why should any of us give reparations for things that we had nothing to do with?
And only we can free ourselves.
Emancipation is not freedom.
Jim Crow, segregation, redlining, public schools feeding private prisons, where we become slaves again.
As we celebrate Juneteenth
for the this country.
And we demand our 40 acres and a mule.
Bump that.
You can keep the mule.
Keep the 40.
We're taking our freedom.
Yeah, let's go. I love black people now. I hated them so much before, now I really love them. Oh my goodness, I want to be just like you. It continues to baffle me what kind of people that Disney are deciding to hire to be their writers. Lately, I've been losing a lot of respect for Disney for allowing these things to pass in order for them to teach the next generation of children that they have white privilege, and if they're black, then they can't succeed in this life. America is all about working. You can get a decent living and a comfortable life if you work hard enough. So after all that Jim Crow, segregation, slavery stuff passed, black people were allowed to be normal citizens and get normal jobs and get money like everyone else. And it's been that way for decades now. And black people are still coming out complaining that they're oppressed and saying that they've worked harder than any white person has ever done in their whole life. When the reality is, a large chunk of black people don't actually know how to work decent jobs. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of hard-working African Americans in today's society. But if you're going to put yourself on a pedestal and say that your people deserve a lot more than they're getting, then take a step back, observe what's around you, and assess why you've gotten yourself in this position. Now obviously, my mom is white, and she grew up in California. Now that might sound privileged, but she grew up in Compton, which is a ghetto neighborhood in LA. And so her whole life she barely had any money. She grew up alongside all kinds of black, brown, yellow, and red people. And throughout school she was given the same opportunities as everyone else, but she was one of the only people that decided to take those opportunities to get to a good college, work hard, and then get a good job and make money, while she leaves everyone else in the dust. While they continue to live in Compton, have 10 kids, and never succeed in life. So eventually my mom married my dad and they were able to move out of California and find a better home somewhere else. And how did she do that? She decided to get a good education, work hard, and make some money. And all of you can do the exact same thing. But long story short, us as Americans will not give you free stuff. That is not what America is about. Because what happens when you get free stuff? You become lazy. You don't know how to get it yourself. And so then what's the point of this thing in the Constitution that says we are all equal? It makes us not equal. It makes one race better than the other, and that is not fair. We are all equal as Americans. We are all given the same opportunity, and so you need to take it and make something of yourself. You were not the ones put in slavery. Your great-great-grandparents were. They're the ones that deserve free stuff because they're the ones that were put through torture their whole life. Not you. You don't deserve any of that. All forms of engagement on this video would be appreciated. You can like, comment your opinion on this whole situation. Talk to me about this in my Discord and call me a bigot. I do not care. Follow the Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, second channel, and TikTok. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Black History Month. I'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.